Live from the studio of his parents' basement, the Have You Seen It podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name is Mason Knight. Sitting across from me is the one and only Cash Kraus. But before we begin, if you guys can please be sure to smash that like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification as we drop videos here every single day. So with that said, Cash, what are we reviewing today?
Oh, today, what an interesting one.
You could say that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The newest David Cronenberg film, Crimes of the Future, his return to horror. It's horror in a way, I guess.
Like body horror.
Yeah. In like the first time in 30 years or something. Hasn't done it in a very long time, but where he got his start. And yeah, he's still very good at it.
Yeah. I have some thoughts on this film.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, yeah. Weirdly, in our only film we're doing this week, too.
Yeah, our only film.
Somehow this film, for the full summer, somehow weaseled its way into getting dropped.
We didn't even review Top Gun, but we're reviewing Crimes of the Future.
Well, yeah. I was much more excited for this than I was Top Gun. But I've seen.
But I heard Top Gun. Top Gun's getting great reviews. Everyone I've talked to said it's a good film.
Yeah. If you like planes and guys with their shirts off playing,
you know me,
playing an absolute nonsense game of football that makes zero sense.
Two footballs being thrown together at once.
People tackling anyone. It's absolute chaos. I won't get into it. But yeah, Crimes of the Future. How do you even explain this synopsis to someone?
I have no idea, and it's going to be really hard to even talk about like kind of the plot of this film. It's just wild. The whole thing is just set in a weird future. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me attempt. So it's in like a almost post-apocalyptic future, right? Everything's ravaged. It's crazy. It's a classic David Cronenberg future. Very, very sad, dreary, and but it's a world where people have evolved to no longer feel pain.
Yes.
No one feels pain except for a select few people feel pain. Yeah. Some people feel pain in their sleep. That's it. Yeah. And one of those
they have those orchid beds or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Those weird beds to like help them with the pain.
Yeah. And one thing I liked about this film, though, is everything I had a question for, it got answered.
It did get answered.
Like, I thought for sure it'd be more abstract where, like, they'll never tell you what that bed is. Or the thing where he eats.
Yeah.
It's
it's like a weird rocking chair.
They'll never explain that. No, they
explain it all.
Explain it for sure. But so it's a future where people no longer have pain, and now people don't have sex anymore.
No,
it's called old sex.
Old sex, yeah. The new sex,
and no one can do it.
Up your body.
Yeah, and the new sex is inflicting just any kind of pain really on yourself, and that's the way you goosh.
Yeah. And people do
goosh
loads. Metaphorical loads, because I don't think they're actually shooting loads.
I don't know. Maybe there is a little
maybe it was
shoot.
implied. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Maybe a blood splat or a squirt.
Yes, but what film, this or Men, harder film to masturbate to in a theater?
Oh, I'm going to have to go with Men. Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Men. That's the harder one. To beat your meat to, I gotta say.
For sure. This one is difficult. It has a lot of body horror to it. And it shows a lot of people naked, including a child at one point.
Okay, so that was weird. Like, as soon as that happened, I was like, how did they get away with that?
Hey, it's artsy, man.
I guess so. Yeah.
You can always do it in a way. It's not like it's cut and clean. I've talked about it before.
And
but
it's like scientific for like examining a dead body, whatever.
And the child was dead. I think you're allowed to show a dead body or a child fully nude if they're dead.
Okay, good to know. All right.
Yes, but a lot of full frontal nudity in this.
Yes, a ton of nudity.
But surprisingly, Viggo Mortensen not in the nude, even though he has been full frontal nude for a lot of David Cronenberg films.
And the one thing, when I bought a movie ticket for this, I said, I want to see full frontal Viggo, and we did not see it.
Well, I've seen plenty of Viggo.
Well, you know what? I went to see one last time. Okay.
Well, I'm sure you'll have more opportunities. That guy ain't done, my friend. But so in the future, no one feels pain. There's like this big art movement going on where people do live surgery in front of a big audience, and everyone's just super sexy, you know, because it's pretty much like showing or seeing two people fuck in front of you.
Right, exactly.
But it's now two people having surgery, and that's where we get Viggo Mortensen, who used to be a cop, I believe. They said he was in service at one point, but...
When I like that, too, that one scene where you hear, like, moaning, like,
yeah.
And it's like a house party, and people are surrounding it. Immediately, I was like, oh, all these artsy-fartsy people watching people fuck, right?
Course.
And then they come around the corner, and they're just doing, like, the surgery thing.
Yeah.
And she's like,
One thing I loved about this universe is it's in the future, but everything is like pen and pencil, and like everyone's shooting video, and it's very analog. I like that artistic choice, even though there's very advanced like technological advancements, like the
for sure.
like the autopsy machine and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but everyone's using pen and pencil. They're using like regular files and stuff.
And
it's like there's no computers at all.
I don't know another word for it, so I'm just going to say this word, and maybe you can elaborate better. But the mechanisms and stuff, and like the technology to me felt very gothic.
Yeah.
As far as like just like very like bony and weird, the structure of it.
Well, all the machines had an organic look to it,
Yes,
which makes
organic
it look very alien.
Yes.
For sure. It makes everything look very alien. Everything has skin to it. I mean, all the machinery and everything has skin and has little feelers and tentacles. And one thing, he sleeps into bed, but it looks like a giant testicle for sure.
It does. And then the weird tentacles coming down, hooking up to his arm.
But really, it's a bed. And they end up explaining all this, but it's a bed that anticipates your pain. Mm-hmm. Because there's some people who, like I said, they feel pain. And here's another kicker. And they didn't mention this about the story. Some people have evolved to grow new organs.
Oh, yes.
A lot being thrown in the pot here.
For sure. Yeah. That's the accelerated evolution syndrome.
Of course.
Yes, we're all very familiar with that.
And like you would think, very painful to grow a new organ.
Yeah,
especially when it's just there and not doing a lot.
No, and it's just pushing against all your other organs. It's very uncomfortable.
Displacing some shit that should not be... displaced, yeah. So people are doing that, but people think it's random, and people hate it, right? It's like it's frowned upon big time, you know, because once you grow this new organ, there's a cop involved at some point. He says you're no longer viewed as a human because now you have something that no one else has, and it's not good. They don't want you to have that, so people get it removed immediately. Mm-hmm. But Viggo, very possibly, he might be making his own organs, doing himself as some kind of crazy new wave artist. Instead of making a sculpture, his sculptures are new organs.
Yeah.
And
the only part that was a little confusing is why are the organs tattooed? Did that ever get explained?
They kind of explained. Let me tell you something that was kind of annoying about this film is at some point I couldn't hear or understand some of the dialogue.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up.
Because there's so much mumbling going on. Mm-hmm. And Viggo Mortensen, he's got some weird throat thing that, man, they stick with the entire fucking
film.
Movie. It's such...
I'm like...
something that I never got used to. Something that I thought was very annoying, but they stick with it.
They do.
And eventually it makes sense.
It makes sense at the end, obviously, with the whole plastic and whatnot.
And I've seen other people to comment about this, but some of the dialogue is hard to hear, especially when Kristen Stewart and Viggo Mortensen. Kristen Stewart already has kind of a low mumble, kind of a whisper. Hard to hear. And I know he was explaining that at one point, and I feel like it might have just got lost in translation. Because at one point he says something along the lines of he tattoos them to make... them his own, like that proves that they're his or whatever, that, and like because that made sense at the very end. Spoiler: the kid has all of his organs in it, and all the ones he removed and whatnot. But
we got to talk about that. The way this film opened up was kind of wild, you know. Yeah. So this kid's just like digging with a spoon out there. There's a crashed, abandoned cruise ship. I'm assuming the mom says, "Don't you eat any of that." And she like whispers to herself. They go into the house. The boy's in the bathroom. Bitch, clean your toilet once in a while. It's just absolutely disgusting.
Oh, everything's just people don't clean their toilets anymore.
I know, but
it's a dreary life. People are just slugging by.
They really are doing the absolute.
Everyone you get the film is no one's just happy unless you're having crazy surgery sex,
art sex, or surgery art sex. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. The boy goes in the bathroom.
I love this opening.
And then he grabs the garbage can and he starts taking bites out of it. And I was like, what is that white goo coming out of his mouth?
I thought maybe that just happens if you eat a bunch of plastic. Like,
yeah. I'm not familiar, but...
But he was going to town on this garbage can.
He was.
And then he got so full, he had to take a nap after.
And Mom said,
because garbage cans will do that. They'll fill you up.
Oh, they will.
They'll fill you, and you got to take a post-nap.
Yeah, and Mom said, I don't want to be around this creature anymore.
And this film is very, very weird.
It's super weird.
But very funny at times.
Yeah.
Like, very funny, because she says something, and it's supposed to be, for sure, like, kind of dark comedy. Because the whole thing is kind of a crazy, crazy concept, for sure. But kind of like a tongue-in-cheek kind of, like... I don't know, even ecological message to it, but in a very dark and weird way. Mm-hmm. But she, of course, does exactly what I was thinking. Was like, you got to take that kid out, obviously. You know,
he's plastic.
He ain't right for weirdo. He ain't right for the world, right? And, so she does. All right, some difficulties, but we are back.
We are back.
Anyways, kid eats plastic. Mom does what any good mom would do. She pillows that kid, snuffs him out.
Says goodnight forever.
Calls the husband, says, get this fucking dead. No longer leaving monster kid out of here. But it kind of showed, like, what people think about these people with new organs or whatnot, or this new evolution of people.
Hybrid humans.
Which is, it's most likely a realistic take on if people did start producing new organs. I'm sure there'd be some people very racist against those people.
Oh, for sure. Or people consuming plastic. I mean, some greenies might think that's a good idea. I mean, technically you're decomposing
it's
plastic.
the entire point of this movie.
Right?
It's the new evolution is because of the new synthetic world that there's so much plastic that we would evolve like those little plastic worms. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's pretty fascinating. Those new worms are starting to eat plastic now.
Fascinating and depressing. Yeah. But like I said, is a big part of this film. We're just jumping ahead, but that kid done for.
Oh yeah.
You know, he can eat plastic all fucking day. He still can't. He couldn't eat through the pillow fast enough.
Could not, unfortunately. Maybe if the linen was made of plastic, he could have got some airway. But
calls the husband off camera. We don't know who he is yet, but he's pretty upset about the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, it is his kid, so.
Yeah. But that's how we get the big start and big mystery of why was he murdered? What was the mom? And it's funny because they go with the mom later on, and she's like, "Yeah, well, what would you do in my shoes?"
Yeah,
We're like, "Of course I'm gonna kill that kid."
And it was the perfect crime because no one believes me that I killed my kid. So everything's good for me.
Yeah.
And she refers to him often as a creature too, not even a person. Yes. And she goes, "It's just." It disgusts me that thing was even living inside me at one point. You're like, geez.
Yeah.
It's vile.
Yeah, and then there's what the crazy thing about this movie is it ends abruptly.
Yeah, it's definitely abrupt.
It felt like there was another 20 minutes to go of this film at least. Like what I felt like we were just getting into like the mystery of it, like the cover up, like what's gonna happen with like the secret organization. Because there's like I said, so many fucking ideas thrown out. And I don't think all of them are seen through to the end. Mm-hmm. But there is this secret organization of people, who pretty much they're like
the National Organ Registry. Is that who you're referring to?
Well, no, I'm talking about the people who have modified their bodies to where they can start eating plastic.
Oh, yes, the cult people.
Yeah. There's just people who have modified their body through quite a bit of surgery.
Yes.
To where they can now eat these just concentrated plastic candy bars.
Candy bars, yeah, it sounds pretty good. And unfortunately for one agent hunting this man down, he says, you know what? Guy's not looking, grabs the candy bar, takes a bite, and...
Oh, it's just pure plastic.
Yeah,
of course it would kill you.
And dead immediately.
Yeah.
And I love how everyone around there just really didn't care. Like, people are still sitting there casually, and someone's like, "Oh, someone's
Like
dead."
I said, it's this weird future and world where like death and all that stuff doesn't matter now that people can't feel pain or anything like that. It's like this guy was choking to death, and it looked violent, but to him, it just must have been uncomfortable,
right?
Because no pain, like you said, and so there's these crazy kind of sex parties where people are doing surgery. The only part where I was really squeamish was when the lady had her foot. Someone had that saw in her foot, and you could hear it scraping against like the bone of the foot.
Yep.
That's when I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, when Léa Seydoux and Viggo Mortensen, the zipper scene, where she's like,
She gives it. Yeah, there's a scene.
"Oh, what are we doing here?
Oral.
Mom spaghetti?
Oral on
Organs
on the zipper.
Yeah.
And he goes, careful in
like,
there. Yeah. He's like, don't move too much shit around.
Yeah, please don't." It's kind of like, you know what? Did you
was so
see
gross.
episode 1 of The Boys?
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen all of them.
Okay,
yeah.
so the very first scene, I'm not going to spoil it, but, that's what it reminded me of when she did that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, because one guy, some doctor or something, wants him to have easy access. Old Saul, who's Viggo Mortensen. So he installs a literal. At first, I was thinking, maybe a medical term zipper or something.
Yeah.
No, it's a
literal zipper.
It's like a zipper in your Levi's. Just zip, and he can.
I mean, the work is fine. You got to admit, good work,
perfect.
really good work. I mean, keeping those
As
things
far
in
as
there.
adding a zipper to your body, it's as good as it gets.
Yeah, it really is. I got to talk about Kristen Stewart too on the podcast because I thought she did a phenomenal job as this very timid Timley or whatever her name was.
Yeah, now we
Timmy?
can talk about the National Organ and Registry if you want to.
Yes.
A registry that does not exist yet.
It does not. They made that very clear
I have
multiple
no
times.
idea who's paying these people.
Yeah, it's dark money.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Underground.
But the National Organ Registry is like this weird bureaucratical organization that literally sounds exactly what it says. It's they register new organs.
Yep.
And right off the bat, they look at Viggo Mortensen's character like he is a fucking god.
Well, and Timlin too, Kristen Stewart.
Like he is the new Leonardo da Vinci.
Right, of course.
Right.
Well, and Timlin brings that up multiple times. She is just infatuated with this man.
Well, of course, these people that work at the organ registry are going to be big nerds for organs.
Right.
And not even nerds, but simps.
Yeah, that's
Just
true.
hard
It's
ons.
like, working at a lightsaber store and having Ewan McGregor walk in.
Yeah.
I'm going to be all over the guy.
I'll be trying to fuck that guy.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, probably. We could clash our lightsabers.
Oh, yeah.
Too soon.
He didn't die.
No, he didn't. Well, I mean,
Did he? Oh, don't tell me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Whoops.
You just getting news? Crazy. So he comes in there, and Kristen Stewart is playing this really weird Timlin character, but a great character, very funny. Like you said, just horny for this guy.
Yeah, super.
But a great character. She does a great job.
I love the scene when she's like walking him down. He's like backing
Yeah.
up like all the way around the room, like they're
Viggo Mortensen
dancing.
the acting choice he makes in this is it's very funny.
It's hilarious. Well, and then she finally corners him.
He's so weird and timid and kind of like just a classic artist, I guess.
Yeah. And she's like putting her fingers in his mouth, and then she makes out with him, and he goes, "I'm sorry, I'm not good at the old sex." She goes, "Oh no, that's fine."
I guess that scene was all
So
improv.
fun. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
what I heard.
fantastic.
Was I guess she stuck her fingers in his mouth and he just went along with it.
Good for
Who's
him.
not gonna? I mean,
Who's not gonna? I mean,
Yeah.
Kristen Stewart.
But man, Viggo, yeah. But something I like about this is they're artists, but it's not like they're all knowing, super wise beings or whatever. It's like they're human too, to a point where they don't know if they should go along with this certain aspect of the show, and they're like, we gotta find an angle for it and stuff like that. It's not like they're purely good or purely bad or whatever.
How about the one individual? He was like a dancer, but he sewed his eyes shut, sewed his mouth shut, and just had ears growing.
Yeah, talk
all
about
over
that.
his
That was a
body.
big part of the trailer for
It
sure.
was,
Yeah. And what I loved about that is people were freaking out about that in the trailer. But even in the movie, that whole scene and that whole art show was it was like frowned upon. It was like mundane, and it was like not even cool anymore. Like it was such a small part of the movie, but that was a big part of the trailer that they showed. But even in the movie, in the world, they're like, yeah, it's been done before, or it's like it's not even interesting anymore.
Which
But,
poor guy. I mean, he sewed his eyes shut for the people, and they don't even appreciate it. You know.
Hey, when another guy's crafting his own organs, and the ears don't even work. My first question was, do the ears work?
Yep.
Like, is this guy hearing everything that's going on? No.
All
for show.
Work. Yeah. Stupid.
Yeah.
Idiot.
I'd want my money back for sure.
Yeah.
But another thing that I thought was funny, there was people at Cannes Film Festival were like, you will be shitting and throwing up at this movie.
They're so dramatic.
You'll be coming all over yourself. Bile will be leaking from every hole in your body. Every time.
Whenever I hear anything from Cannes, I go, okay, I'm going to take that down 95%, and then that's what it probably actually
People were running out of the theater. That was what people were saying about this. Yeah.
It's so...
And it is weird, and there is some body horror elements for sure.
But
it's not over the top where it's just like people... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, especially in film. They're just dramatic at Cannes. I mean, giving a film a 30-minute standing ovation, it's like, okay.
There's been longer than that.
Oh, I know. I just didn't want to over-exaggerate. But
there has been longer. I could have sworn there's a... Which is fucking... We've talked about it before, but I find it so funny, dude.
I think it's appropriate for like 3 to 5 minutes, sure, but 30 minutes of just applause, no thanks.
Oh, I would sit down. I'd be like, "Fuck, I don't care. I don't. You guys can stand. Go ahead, stand. I'm sitting down. My legs are. This is great. To stand for 50 minutes and clap. Just be like, your hands.
I know everyone's just like, we're still going. Let's try to break the record. Yeah. It's like
the guy from Guinness World Records is in there. He's timing it.
He's got his little clipboard.
I love film, but to stand for that,
I'll never do it.
I would not even as a filmmaker. If it was my film, I wouldn't want it.
Just sit down. Seriously, I appreciate the applause.
A 10-minute applause is like, holy hell, you guys love this film.
Yeah. 50-minute applause,
and then it comes out, and it's never a film that does like it's good, but it's never like no one ever is applauding in the regular theater. Yeah, classic for sure. But yeah, they said this film was gonna be very, very gross out, and but maybe I'm dull to the sense, but I've seen grosser for sure.
Yeah, we may be a little desensitized to this kind of film.
That could be, but there definitely is some gross. I mean, the parts that I really didn't like was like I didn't like the look of the control for the autopsy thing.
It was weird. It was like a
slug.
Thing.
Yeah. There's just, I don't know. Just very, very Cronenberg for sure. Yes. I mean, he has developed his Wes Anderson like style for sure, where you could pick up that's a Cronenberg film. The practical effects are always amazing.
Yeah, they are.
Mm-hmm. They're always amazing for sure. That chair thing.
The chair was a wonky.
Was so fucking wild. Yeah. And to think that they're just going to, get rid of that thing or destroy it after that. Like, it must have taken a long.
Oh, to build that? Yeah.
Yeah, because Viggo Mortensen, he's producing all these fucking organs, but he can't eat. Yeah. He's got all kinds of problems. He can't eat regular food.
And that's a throat thing he's dealing with the entire film.
Oh, and he's got something caught up in there. Mm. But he can't eat, and the whole reason you don't know why, the big fucking reveal at the end is that people, like we said earlier, already ruined it, but people are evolving for the synthetic world to eat plastic because there's so much fucking plastic, And I'm guessing less food.
Yes. In a post-apocalyptic world, yes.
But man, a lot of trash.
A ton of trash.
But to me, I feel like if we got to the point where everyone was eating plastic, we'd be producing plastic just for people to eat it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We would.
It would become a problem.
That's essentially what they were doing with those candy bars.
Well, I think they were taking like dump plastic and stuff. I don't think they were
the manufacturing was impressive, nonetheless, of converting all that to just beautiful purple candy bars.
Because clearly they could just eat, a hunk of plastic if they wanted, but it's better to be munching on those bars for sure. It's a little better looking.
Yeah.
But yeah, weird film. I did enjoy it. Very weird, very, very unique. Not my favorite David Cronenberg film, unfortunately.
I'd have to agree with that.
I don't know. I think I might have even liked Men more.
Yeah, no. I definitely like Men more than this.
I totally
I
got
liked a lot of movies more than this.
I got this message and everything that it was going for. I thought it set up too much stuff, and it didn't see through a lot of the stuff it was setting up. Like the whole cop thing, I thought there's going to be a lot more to that than basically him just saying at the very end.
Or the two girls too.
Yeah, I know. Those sexy fucking girls. Yeah, that were drilling people in the head.
Yeah.
Like, what is... I did not know what was going on there.
I was like, what the
are
hell?
they professional? Are they not?
That is their weapon of choice, though. That's for sure.
The thing about the drill in the head, you can't feel it going in, I guess. You know?
Yeah.
You can't feel the pain.
I know, because that guy just didn't move or anything. He was just saying,
and that's one thing that I liked about this film that I have to give it to, is it explains... I thought for sure there's going to be a lot of head shaking, be like, what the fuck is going on? Mm-hmm. But they explain everything, and even get to the point where it's like, not feeling pain is a big fucking problem.
For sure.
Infection, they're like, well, actually, infections have disappeared for some reason.
Well, even things like, sitting your hand on a stove or something and not realizing it's on.
Or breaking your leg or something.
Breaking your leg,
so it's like, it's...
There's a reason we feel pain.
Yeah, absolutely.
As shitty as it is sometimes.
So, very unique, but very, very odd for sure. Yeah. First science fiction horror film since 1999.
Wow, existence.
23 years. David Cronenberg, weird enough, has one of his first films. It's called Crimes of the Future, and has nothing to do with this film.
Like in the 80s?
Probably in the 70s. Even.
70s or 80s. There is a film also in the 70s named that too.
1970.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do... I guess he just loves that title.
Yeah, he loves the title because, Crimes of the Future. Okay.
I would do that, too. If I had such a good title and I used it on one of my early films that sucked, I'd be like, damn.
I'll use it again.
I gotta go. No one saw that fucking thing.
It's crazy. He's almost 80.
I know. He's a great Canadian. Yeah, History of Violence and Eastern Promises are still some of my favorite movies. Great crime mafia films, but... His son did a great film, too, in, 2018. I think his name is Joe Cronenberg. It's body horror, too, but it's really good, yeah. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It will probably make $14 at the box office.
Yeah, currently right now it's at $1.4 million. But one thing I was actually shocked is I went and saw this in the movie parlor, and there were probably 7 or 8 people in there, and I was like, wow.
There was probably 7.
A 1 p.m. show? This is
Yeah,
weird.
I'm surprised they were even showing that late, because on Saturday, the earliest showing, 7:15 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but I went to that 7:15 p.m., and there was probably 12 people in there.
Yeah. That's not bad for a film like this.
Because I talked to the guy working at AMC who's taking the ticket, and he had no fucking clue what the movie was. He had no idea they were even showing it there.
That's
and he's the guy,
so
he worked
crazy. He works at the theater, and he's like, I don't know what
It's like Crimes of the Future. Never. He's like, a lot of
I
people
like
are seeing
the title.
Top Gun.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, give me my fucking ticket and quit talking to me. But yeah.
All right, everyone. Well, that is our review for Crimes of the Future. If you like what you've seen here, please be sure to smash that like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification so we drop videos here every single day. Thanks so much for watching and listening. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Krause. Until next time.
Bye.